Hi friends, welcome to WebChamp. Here in this video, I'm going to discuss what are the different aggregation functions in SQL that we can use with group by clause and how to use the group by clause. What is the mean by group by and how we can write sub-queries in SQL. These all things are discussed here in this video. Be stick to the WebChamp. Do not forget to subscribe to the WebChamp and like the video. Let's start with our content. So our point of interest is aggregation functions in SQL. So SQL has few aggregation functions. It supports it supports mean function, it supports max function, it supports count function, it supports sum function, and there is function called average. Okay, so these are the aggregation functions in SQL. Okay, sometimes it may be referred as a summarization functions in SQL. But what is mean by that? Okay, or how we can use that? First of all, you need a data. Okay, and I have a data here. I have a table and I have a table called sale master. So I will fetch the records from the table. So how to fetch the records, I already discussed in my previous videos. You can go through my series of SQL by WebChamp. I will say select all from cell underscore master. Okay, this is what my table name. Database I already selected by using use statement. And this is how I can fetch the records for entire data. But in case if you don't want entire range, okay, so what you can do, you can say select and you can put the column names, order ID, then order date. Okay, then something like ship mode underscore mode, then segment, then state, then city. Like this, you can city instead of city, I would like to use region. Okay. Yes, and then cells, the column which having actual amounts. Our point of interest is more with amounts in case of data analysis. Okay, so I will say quantity, from which table you have to define. So this is remain same. Table name would be cell master. So this is how we can write a simple SQL query to fetch the required records from table. Okay, and by default, there is no filter, nothing we have used. Okay, so now let's come to our aggregation functions. Suppose if you want a minimum value, okay, minimum value from any of the columns, so you can use minimum value from column. Okay, so you can use this function. On next line, what I will do, I will comment out and I will say about max. So in case if you want maximum value from column, you can use max function. Okay, on next line, I will talk about, or I will say about count function. So count function is used to count the values from column or records. I can say records from table. Okay, entire rows count you can take. Then sum function is used to take the sum of column values. Okay, and average function is also used for the same purpose, but it is not going to give you the sum. Instead it will give you the average of column values. So you have a little bit idea now. Count is a only function that can be used with column or a table. I mean, directly with tables. Okay, if you want to use. Okay, how to use? Okay, let's see. Let's talk about a mean function or max function. So when you have to use the mean or max function, so whenever there is something called date, or whenever there is something called text, whenever you wanted to find out minimum text from your uh, column, maximum text from your column, or mostly these two functions are used with numbers. Okay, and we have a number column. right? Number column with sale or quantity. Suppose I would like to see a quantity, minimum quantity. So what I can do, I can say select, okay, and minimum function I'm going to use, and I will say quantity, okay, and on quantity, minimum quantity from what? From sale underscore master. Okay, this is what my table. So I would like to know what is the minimum quantity in my table. So I can get this one as a minimum value of my quantity. Similarly, you can do it for another. I think this will work with the data also. You can try, okay, with different types of data. Suppose if you want to know the maximum quantity from table, so you can do that also, but you need to change here max instead of min, and you can select and execute the statement. So you can say that 14 is the maximum quantity number in my table, okay, in quantity column. So this is how we can use min and max to find out minimum value and maximum value from a column. Then how to use the count? Okay, so count, as I said, count can be used directly to find out the records. Okay, so number of records, I will say count and star. So here I'm not going to pass any of the single column name. I am directly passing the star, that is meaning of entire record. And from table sale master. So you have to say execute. The moment you execute, you will get the count of rows. Okay. Suppose if you want a count of values, suppose if you want a count of values from a table, from a column called state, so you can pass state here, right? Definitely you will get the same value because we are not passing a different condition. But yes, whenever you wanted to have a unique count, so you can use select distinct statement, select distinct and count. Okay, so select distinct will, what it will do, it will give us the only unique records. And okay, so it is giving us a duplicate from state field still for count. Okay, count is giving us only a count of number of records, anyways, count of values, number of count of values. Okay, so we need to apply different logic to get unique records count. Okay, so let's say count state, count state, count of state. So you can take any values count, no matter. Then if you want a sum to be, okay, taken on the number column, so you can say sales. Sales is my amount column, sale amount columns from sale master. No issues. And what I will do, I will execute this one. So you are able to get the sum of entire column values. You are able to get the sum of entire column values. So using this. Then next is something called average. Suppose if you want to find the average of sales column, yes, you are able to find the average of sales column by using AVG function. So this is how these 5 functions are used to find out minimum value, maximum value, count of values from a column or from a table. Then we can say that from table means whenever I say from table, it will be a records. Okay. Then sum of column values and average of column values. Yes, definitely this is not sufficient. Okay, then you need to use where clause, and where clause you can use to filter the record and to get the values based on some kind of filter. Suppose if I want a sale, okay, I will show you only one example. The sum of sales where my state, or instead of state I will say where my segment is equal to consumer. Now, if I execute this much, you will see the entire, because selection matters here while execution. This is what my total sum, and based on condition, you will see the different value. So this is what my sum of sales for consumer segment only. So this is how we can use, but mostly whenever you want a sum against segment, whenever you want a sum against each segment. Okay, so here you are directly getting sum of some value of that segment, or for that segment, whatever the segment you have specified. But sometimes you wanted to get a sum for all the segments. You wanted to get a sum for all the segment. In that case, okay, what you need to do? So what data I have here? Okay, let me show you something. Data, and I will show you a demo on Excel so that it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, so this is what a data I have in my database. I will select this and I will create a pivot table on new worksheet. Okay, and I wanted a sum on the basis of segments. So what I can do, I can drag here and sum of sales on the basis of segments. So this is what my sum of sales. Okay, like this, if you want to create a table, like this, if you want to create a table, what you can do, you are supposed to use a group by statement. Okay, so that is what our second agenda to understand how to use a group by with aggregation functions. Okay, so here, instead of giving a filter or condition like this, I would like to use a group by. Okay, and I will say select sum of sales. Okay, select sum of sales from sale master, whatever would be the table name, and here I will say group by. Okay, what is your group by field? So I will say segment. I would like to group. So whenever we say group by, okay, what we have did here in pivot table, we have converted our segment is column. Okay, 5,000 plus rows of data into 3 rows of data. 3 rows of data, right? So we are able to reduce the number of rows using group by. Values will remain same, but obviously you need to use something that we refer as aggregation function. So here I am using some function. You can use count, average, anything would be good to use, depends upon the requirement. Okay, so select sum of sales from sales master. So if I execute this based on, or group by based on segments, okay, so it has grouped, but suppose if you want to see segments also, so you need to add segment in select statement and you have to execute. So like this, you are able to get the data. Okay, so for consumer segment 5582 something value is there. So here you can see that for consumer segment 5582 50 something, or here that is what difference because of some decimal points. Okay, so let's not compare exact values. Okay, so this is how you can use a group by. Okay, suppose if you want to group data based on multiple fields. So like here we can create a group based on sales and on okay, on segment, and I would like to say region, segment and region. What I will do, I will go here and I will say do not show subtotal and tabular format. So this is how I can create a table in pivot table, same output we can get in SQL also. So what we have did, we have grouped our data based on two fields, multiple columns. Okay, multiple columns, segment and region column. I can do that also. So I can pass here region. Okay, region, I will say comma, and I will add a group by here. So I will say a region in group by. Okay, so this is how we can get the data. And now you are able to see that we have produced a same result. We have produced a same result that's what we have produced in Excel also. This is how we can use Excel. So we basically in Excel, pivot table is nothing but a grouping of data. Okay, and it uses aggregation functions. If you have used that, so basically you can understand very easily what is this mean by. Okay, and this is what all these 4 functions are used with pivot table. Same thing we are doing here in group by. So I hope you got a clear picture about what is a group by. Group by is basically grouping a duplicate rows into a single row. Okay, convert multiple rows of duplicate values into a single row. This is nothing but a group by. So this is what about a group by statement. Then what is mean by sub-query? Okay, what is mean by sub-query? So sub-query is nothing but writing up a query inside a query. Writing up a query inside a query. Query inside a query is called sub-query. Okay, so suppose I would like to filter the data. If someone asks me to filter the data, okay, select star. This is what my query is. Select star from, okay, star from cell underscore master. This is what my table. And if someone asks you to filter the data for maximum value of cell, so filter the data for maximum value of cell. So in that case, definitely you need to use a subquery. How to use subquery? So here, obviously, I need to pass maximum value. Okay, for cells is equal to, and here I supposed to pass. Okay, I can say max value. Okay, max value from which column? Max value from sales column. And how to find sales maximum value? We are already know that we have did that also in our earlier statement. So max is used with quantity. So if I use this statement, okay, if I use this statement, if I go down and if I say max of sales, so can I get maximum value from sales column? Yes, I am able to get this maximum value. So I would like to use this query inside this query. Instead of passing a value, static value, we can say like this. Okay, and this is what my subquery, the part of query. Okay, the part of query which is called a subquery. Whatever I have selected is called query inside a query, or one query is a part of another query. It's called subquery. Okay, and I can execute this, and I am getting a record for, yes, definitely I am getting a record for what? 1120, right? And this was the number we have seen from this query. If I execute this much, you are able to see that only number 1120. And I was looking for an entire record for maximum value. So I am able to get that also. That is what possible in SQL by using subqueries. Queries inside queries you can write. Okay. So you can do different trial and errors with SQLs by using group by functions, group by clause, and by writing subqueries to get to meet your business requirements. I hope you like the content of this video. Thank you so much for watching the video. Have a nice day. Do not forget to subscribe WebChamp.